Welcome to Education Matters. Today we have a guest, as usual, and I'm very thankful that Matthew Courchesne was able to be with us today because I saw his presentation on the Curriculum and Instruction Committee meeting on, was that
I think that was back in October.
the 28th of October, exactly. So that whole presentation, that was about 15 minutes, is available on the Manchester TV website under On Demand, Channel 22. If you go over to the right margin, you see the school department's committees. It's under Curriculum and Instruction. And you can see his whole presentation. But today, I'm going to show you a clip of the 5-minute portion of that presentation, and then we'll get into some questions for Matt. All right, thanks, John, if you could roll that. Thanks.
Around here. So ultimately, what I'm trying to do in the way that I would like to be defined is that when they are 18 years old, they're doing one of three things. And that is either they are working a tax-paying job, they're in any type of school, whether it be Harvard Law or Manchester Community College or beauty school or landscaping school, whatever they want there, or they are going into the military, and now I have success stories on each phase. Part of my struggle with getting the awareness out about the program has been data. And for me, it's tough to give you the GPA, the behavior, and the attendance, because that's how pretty much every program that I've seen has been evaluated. But for me, it's different because it's consistency and longevity is ultimately what gets to these kids. And I stick by them, and I see kids who go through their ups and downs and, you know, what's going on with their lives. And really what it is it's learning how to deal with things. And there's a stat that I saw that 20% of 18 to 24-year-olds right now are doing nothing. And that worries me. And for me, it's even more personal than just a HOPE program. It's about Manchester because I'm a Manchester student. And one of the main reasons why I do it is because I have my personal story, obviously, and we won't get into it deep. But my father died when I was in 7th grade. He was in jail. But it never affected me. It never defined who I was. And not only that, I also relied on everybody else and every adult who was around me to, I believed in what they were saying. And they were telling me to be a good person, be respectful, be polite. And ultimately, that's what I did. And I ended up graduating at Trinity High School. And then I went on to Plymouth State College, and I've also done some traveling. So I've lived a pretty good life, and it's about giving back to the community now. And I really believe that this program is really helping the Manchester School District get back to where it needs to be. And it just really starts with the relationships. And I'm trying to make sure, I mean, one of the biggest things that Mr. Perrick, the vice principal at Memorial High School, who's great, comes in and he tells the 8th graders, 20% of 9th graders at Memorial are 9th graders again. And that just could mean, because to become a sophomore, you have to have 5 credits. So, I mean, that could mean that a kid has 4 credits, you know. But they're still not where they need to be, and they're falling behind. And then we're talking about VLAX, we're talking about credit recovery, we're talking about all those things. And really what it is teaching these kids that you got to get tough, and you got to be mentally tough, and you got to learn your way to fight through things, because that's ultimately what life is about. And, you know, I tell them every day, today's my toughest day, but tomorrow's going to be tougher. And it's showing up every day, and that's part of it, too, is I'm really involved with student council. I'm involved with Southside Middle School, and that gives me an opportunity to also get to know the other kids. And not only that, but it also, like yesterday, we had our student council elections, so the kids have to get up and give a speech in front of their peers on the 3 C's, character, community, and citizenship. But it also gives me a chance to address the 900 kids or plus that are at that school, too. And the reason why that's so important to me is because I feel that I'm trying to be a motivational speaker to them, but I'm not giving them the speech and then going away. I'm still there, and I was there today, and I was reinforcing the same things today that were going on yesterday. And it's just trying to get the best out of the kids and showing them that there are good things in life and good things that are going on. And last year, I've been at this for 6 years, including all my time. And last year at Southside, before they took the kneecaps, they had a good relationship and they've known me. And the day before they took those tests, I got up and I told them that I need them to really try. And I really need them to work hard. And I told them a story of how when I was at Trinity High School, when I was a sophomore at Trinity, I got a 4 percentile on my equivalent to the kneecap test. And what I told them was that that was part of because I didn't try, and I thought it was just a day off. The reason why I'm still here today and still fighting for my program, because it has not been easy, is because those kids went and they passed that test. And there is a ton of things that go into it, and I think the teachers at Southside Middle School are unbelievable. I think Mrs. Gillis over there is unbelievable, and she's doing a great job running. And I really think that it's a special place. And one of the things that we tell the kids is special things take special work. And I'm living proof of that. And tomorrow I'm going to be there working with those kids again. And it's really been a struggle, and really the goal today is to get out and get you guys aware of what's going on and the success that the whole program's having in the Manchester school system. Not only that.
Okay, folks, that was an impressive presentation. And what we're here for, what I have Matt here for, is to talk about those successes a little more on the program. And also, Matt needs some help. He can't do this in a one-man show. And thank you, Matt, for being with me.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. Thanks for reaching out.
And I was just so impressed by this presentation. I says, okay, we're going to do it. We're going to help Matt. And, we're just going to do what we can. And so you're working at Southside Middle School, so people can contact you there. That's how I contacted you.
Yep.
Give a message to the principal or whoever answered the phone and gave you a
The
message.
administrative assistants, and they do a fabulous job there. Very busy,
Mm-hmm.
and they handle it well.
Right. I know at the end we're going to get into and let the folks know how they can support your organization and perhaps where they can, make donations and that kind of thing. But right now, you're fighting for your program.
Yep. Yeah, it's not easy, and it's fighting for my program, but it's also fighting for my life right now and my livelihood. Proud news, my girlfriend is 5 months pregnant, and I'm about to have a little boy, Cullen. So it's not just about surviving anymore, it's about getting ahead, and it's about expansion. I haven't reached out. I've been doing this behind the scenes for the past 3 years pretty much for free, becoming a designated school volunteer, because I believed so much in what I was doing, and I believed that it was such a necessity to do, and I just couldn't give up on those kids. Now I'm at the point where I feel strongly enough that the program is doing well, and it's ultimately we need to get expansion, and we need to get this program into all of the middle schools in Manchester. But with that said, that comes down to funding.
Right.
I'm pulling two roles right now. I'm the executive the executive director, but I'm also the guy who's implementing it. And sometimes I'm also a client. Sometimes the kids listen to me and give me advice and give me help. But like I said, I stuck by this because it's a very special program, and good things are happening there. And I just kept going. I kept going because ultimately I believed, and now I'm out getting, I said in that speech, I have the kids believing. Now I have to go get adults to believe. And it's been a struggle because, like I said, the data, they're looking for data. They're looking for attendance, behavior, and GPA improvement. And that is very important, don't get me wrong, but it's not the end-all, be-all. And what I'm trying to get these kids to do is learn that their future is bright, and their future is bright if they work at it. It's not pushing all the kids to college. It's finding where they're going to be happy and where they can be successful and survive.
And it's personal attention
Yep.
that you're giving them.
Oh,
That
yeah.
they're not always available.
Yep.
Teachers have their hands full with 25 students or 26 students in the class, and then you come in and you by referral
Yep.
have certain students that you're going to work with personally one-on-one. Is that correct?
That's correct. The 7th and 8th graders see me every single day. I teach classes at Southside. It's called Life Skills. Not only that, I'm also walking around. So the way that I check to see if my kids are there is I walk around the schools and I say good morning to everybody, and that's how I get to start my day. It's a great thing with a nice coffee.
No, they're not going to fall through the cracks with you, right?
Yeah, no, well, it's showing them you care, and it's not. This isn't just some other program, and it's special, and you got to show them that you care. And once they see that you care, they're very loyal to you. One of our sayings is respect builds trust, trust builds loyalty. And once people are loyal to you, they're willing to do whatever it takes for you. And that's where we are at with the Hope program, is my kids are willing to do whatever I need them to do. And it's certainly not perfect, and trust me, part of the hardest thing in 7th and 8th grade is you have to take punches. You can't take it personal.
There's a lot of challenges.
But ultimately, in high school, you get to see that, and that's just something I'm trying to tell the Southside teachers, too, is, sometimes you guys don't get to see, but they do change, and they want to come back. And my kids who are in the program, and I'm talking specifically about anywhere from 18 to 21, they come back and they talk to the kids. The mentees become the mentors, and that's a very important thing. And it's building that community, and it's keeping everybody together. And I want people to stay in Manchester. And part of the whole reason why this program even started was because if I look back to my childhood, not many of the people I grew up with are still living in Manchester. And their biggest reason is because of the Manchester school system. So it's something that we have to change to keep people here.
Oh, as far as raising their families?
Correct. So I say, well, why did you leave? And a lot of the answer is the Manchester School District. A lot of that is misinformation, too, and I think that a lot of people think that they know what's going on, but you truly don't know till you're there and you actually see it. And I'm not just talking about for an hour, Deb. I'm talking about you have to be there, and you have to see what's going on, because we have great kids, we have great teachers, we got great administrators. We just got to put it all together. We got good parents, too. We just got to understand that we're all working together, and I think sometimes that's what gets lost.
So you have 25 students at Southside. You have 40 students at the high school.
Yep.
And that's Memorial or?
Memorial, Central,
Okay.
MST. I have been in Nashua North, Goffstown. I got one girl at Goffstown, and it's worth the ride over to see her. She's great.
Wow. And you had 70 students referred to you, and only 10 students could be accepted?
Correct. So
This past year, or was it?
Yep, this was so. In May, I go to the 6th grade teachers who I got a great relationship with, and I say, give me the kids who aren't meeting their full potential, who you think just need a little extra caring, and they give me the referrals. I don't physically go interview 70 kids because I don't want to sit there and interview 70 kids and then say, sorry, 60 of you, but you're not in and you're not good enough, because that's not what it's about. The reason why I have 10 is because obviously I can only do so much. So every year I got 10. So pretty much every single year I'll have 60 kids in the programs, because 10 7th graders, 10 8th graders, 10 9th graders, 10 10th graders, and so on. But one of the most rewarding things for me is that the kids who graduate the program still come back. And I would say I've had, now it's up to about 10 kids who they're young adults now, who continue to come back into the school and work with these kids that are in 7th and 8th grade now, and they tell them about their experiences, and, letting these kids know that Mr. Courchesne's going to be there. He's going to be there for a long time, and when you need something, he's going to be there to help you out.
I'm wondering when you have time to even sit down with new volunteers, let's say, so you can train them. And obviously, you have a model here that works well.
Right.
And nobody can, it's just not anybody can just step in and do it their way. It has to be done this way as you're doing it, as you see the plan here.
Absolutely. So I have one person who became a designated school volunteer. Her name is Janet Lawrence, and she has been coming in on a daily basis to work with the kids.
As you do?
As I do. So she helps me.
Okay.
Yep.
Is she part of your organization?
Yeah. Yep. She's a designated school volunteer is what she is.
You're like certifying them to be that.
I'm getting them ready,
Under Hope.
and to be honest with you, she does a fabulous job, and she's just a good person, and that's all you need to know. You're going to be a good person. You're going to be caring. You're going to hold, you know. She goes through it, and it's funny because everybody who starts, you know, you want to believe everything the kids say, and you want to help them every way.
learn quick.
But you got to learn that you got to take some punches, and I think in these past couple months, that's something that she's been learning, and she's doing a great job though, and she's adjusting to it. And you know, the kids, where's Janet? Where's Janet? Where's Janet? You know, I have people in mind for expansion.
Okay. I was wondering.
Specifically, and they're, you know, all people that are in their 20s. But before I hire anybody, I don't want to be paying them $25,000 a year and say, you know, this is just a resume builder. The people that I hire, I want them to be there for a long time because, once again, it's consistency and longevity that's going to get these kids. So I want to, with my expansion, I want to be paying them a teacher's salary on a teacher's pay scale. And not only that, but also have good benefits. So this isn't an easy process. And like I said, ultimately now I'm out there and I'm saying this program is working and we need more support. And the support is going to come from the Manchester residents is where I'm looking for it. There's a lot that goes into it. The reason why, you know, with some of these grants that are out there, the grants end up running your program and they end up telling you what to do. And I certainly didn't struggle for 3 years for somebody else who doesn't even know what my program's about to tell me how to run my program.
So that's an obstacle you're running into,
Yep.
the funding.
Yep.
So,
But we're surviving. Now it's time to get ahead.
Okay.
It's time to get ahead.
So how many volunteers do you think you could handle? Or what do you think you'd need to meet
Well,
the
they wouldn't be
needs?
volunteers. They would be paid positions. So, and that would be all in the middle schools. I would stay at Southside. Then we would have 3 others in the 3 different middle schools.
Oh, okay.
And then they would ultimately go into the high schools. So McLaughlin, most of the kids are, you know, either go to Central or Memorial. So that teacher at McLaughlin would be responsible to go to Central and Memorial to continue those relationships. You know, there's different things that go into it, and I'm part of student council, and I don't know if they would be able to do that or not, but that's a very important piece because it's not just about our kids, it's about everybody. And one of the biggest misconceptions in school right now is 2 things. Respect who respects you is what's being told to these kids, and that's not true at all. It's respect all adults. And the other thing is, you know, you got to get out there and you got to build those relationships with the kids and get them to where they need to go, and that takes time. That takes time. So it's not an immediate success. It's you got to be patient with the kids and you got to fight through it, and ultimately the greatest thing is, you know, a kid is senior in college where you don't think they're ever going to make it, and there you are sitting there talking to them about the pros and cons about a 4-year school compared to a 2-year school. You know,
Right,
it's
right.
great. It's great.
Right, and you would see them move on
Right.
and become successful adults. It's what it's about. So, can you tell us a little bit about the mission statement? Because I know you have one, and I was really impressed with that. And also, doesn't HOPE stand for something?
Yeah. HOPE stands for Helping Our Pupils Excel. And all Excel means is to work hard. So I'm trying to get these kids to work hard. And that's almost part of what we're trying to stop is we're trying to stop a cycle of kids not working as hard as they possibly could. So, you know, 7th and 8th grade is very, very important, don't get me wrong, but ultimately the whole program is looking to expand into the grammar schools too, with an after-school program.
That's right. I want to get into the after-school program.
Yeah, and the after-school program would be designed on 2 phases. Number 1 would be homework or extra help or maybe a guest speaker coming in, and that would be for, you know, a half an hour to 45 minutes. And then the other half would be all activities, you know, and getting these kids running, getting these kids moving. One of the things that's going on is a lot of these kids are just going home and they're going on their iPhones or they're going on the internet. A lot of kids are eating their lunch, eating their dinners in their bedrooms. You know, it's getting them involved, and I think that's some of the places where we're lacking as adults. And everything that I say, I hold myself just as accountable as anybody else. And you know, so we get them out there, we get them moving, we get them active. You know, something simple. Pete LaBelzik over at Jewett Street Middle School, Grammar School. He's the guy who I've been talking about specifically at Jewett Street to start the first program. And it's great because, number one, he's a great guy, and it looks like I've met some of his teachers, and it looks like they're very supportive of the program. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to bring the middle school kids and the high school kids over to work with these kids and get them exposed. So it might be one day going and seeing a baseball game at Memorial, seeing the Memorial baseball team play, simple things like that. And it's great for the kids to have other kids mentoring them because they listen to those kids way more, but it's also good for those kids who are actually being the mentors because they can put it on their college resume. They can put it on their job application. They can put it when they're applying to go into the military.
Right.
So it's helping everybody.
Community service.
Right.
Yeah.
And the mission statement is just identify adolescents in danger of not reaching their full potential. And we were also talking about this, Deb, and just to add on to that, through consistent mentorship and being with them as much as possible. But we talked about the term at risk. And that is such an outdated term. I believe that it was right in the 80s that started to come about as at risk. And that was in regards to parents getting divorced. And certainly there's challenges that you face if your parents are divorced or you're lower on the socioeconomical standard or whatever your story is. But to me, as a 34-year-old male, I feel that all kids are at risk nowadays. And if you just look at the things that are going on in the news, it's not poor kids, it's not minorities. It's everybody, and it's just tough. I think something that I don't realize, and I guess I'm speaking for myself here, but growing up now is not even close to what it was like when I was growing up. And I think we need to address that issue, and I think we really need to look at it as adults and say, there are some things that we need to be doing differently, and we need to be spending more time with these kids, and it's a community effort. It's a community effort.
It sounds like survival skills.
That's exactly what it is.
You talk
That's
about
exactly
them
what
as
it is.
life skills, but they're survival
Correct.
skills. We're
I
all
completely
trying to
agree with
survive.
that. Right. And that's something that we just talked about today with some of the kids is, I'll tell you what, you think childhood's tough? I'll tell you what, today is a tough day, but tomorrow's going to be even harder. And being an adult is not easy. And, everybody needs some help, so it's okay, I mean, part of what's going on with me is I'm living with my mother right now. I moved back in 3 years ago, and it's been an amazing thing because it's reconnecting with my mom, and in your 20s, life's moving fast, and you don't realize things, and just what my mother did for me as a kid was unbelievable, and and she had support around us, but it's great seeing her every day, and she's just always so concerned about me, and she wants to make sure everything's going well with me, and that's something. My mom has never stopped being my mom.
So with 5 minutes left,
Yep.
I'm just trying to let you know the countdown here.
Thank you.
If someone wants to volunteer, do they need special credentials? Do they need a college degree, let's say? Do they need something?
No. Well, are you talking about volunteering for the Hope program?
Yeah, for the whole program.
I think if you come in more than, once in a while, you would have to become a designated school volunteer down in Manchester School District, and all that means is, the whole program would probably pay you $35, but you get a background check and fingerprinted, and that's ultimately the way to become a designated school volunteer. But not just that, also Mrs. Gillis, who's at Southside Middle School, or Mr. Adamakis at Memorial would also have to approve that, I'm pretty sure, where they would say that they're allowed in their building. So
You would interview them to see if they have the right, the right whatever to put it together for this program for the kids, and then would the school interview them as well? And
well, for Janet, I guess, for example, all they did was the principal signed papers to let her in, and that was they trusted me.
they trusted your
They were with me,
recommendation.
so then we got to move forward.
Yeah.
Volunteers are great, and I think really, with help, I guess if you wanted to be a volunteer, you would come in and work with the kids. But we got that. It's what we really need is expansion, and we need to start hiring people to address these issues in Manchester. Because ultimately I'm a Manchester guy, and I don't like what I'm seeing, and we need to do something about it. And it's, you look at John Kennedy, who said, what can I do for my country? You look at Franklin Roosevelt, who says, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Well, right now in this generation, in this age of me, we need to take a step back, and we need to figure out that we need to start putting our kids first, and we need to start building our relationships with them and guiding them and getting them to believe in us.
Great. Okay, so you do have Facebook page, I see.
Yep.
You gave me a nice brochure.
Yep.
And can you just let people know how they can contact you, or how?
Sure, you can go on that Facebook page, which is, why don't you promote it for me, Deb?
Well, it says here facebook.com, Hope, New Hampshire, all spelled out.
Yep.
And
And we also have a website up, www.hopenh.org. You can obviously contact the school. One of my big things is, with the fundraising is I want it to be friend-raising, and I want to get people involved. And my ask really is for people to come in to see what's going on. And actually, Erica Connors came in from the school board a couple weeks ago. All the other members of the Board of Curriculum and Instruction said that they would be in, so we're looking forward to seeing them soon. And it's just about awareness, and it's about addressing this. And, it almost seems like everybody's throwing their hands up in the air and saying, well, what can we do? And we have all these specialists telling us what to do, and it's not that, Deb. That's not what I believe. I believe it's common sense.
you said relationships.
Right.
Building relationships. It's not just being a client or a statistic,
Right, that's not it. We're certainly not being numbers, and I know that is important, and I know that it certainly is beneficial in many areas, but the stuff that I'm measuring my kids on, you can't put a number on it. I'm going after their hearts.
Well, hopefully we can have some organizations in the city, come up to the
Absolutely,
plate. And,
absolutely.
It's tax time coming up. These organizations, you need to decide, where your dollars are going, if you have anything extra, and made any profit that you want to give to a nonprofit. Matt's looking for help. Matt Courchesne at the Southside Middle School.
The Hope program. We're also having a fundraiser at the Backroom Restaurant February 11th, which is a Wednesday from 6:30 to 10, and it's a wine tasting event. It's the second annual. I have a fundraising committee who puts on a heck of a job.
Oh, great.
Yeah, they do unbelievable. Last year, we didn't know what to expect. It was in the middle of a snowstorm, and, we had no clue, which is kind of a good feeling. You don't know what's going to happen.
Okay,
And
well,
they
when
came.
that time comes, February 11th, because we're on wrap-up,
Yep.
I'll have you on again, and we can just promote the back room.
And the Backroom Restaurant does that
wine
for free
tasting.
for us.
Wine tasting on the.
So go to the
February
back room,
11th.
too.
Oh, great. All right, Matt. Well, we thank you so much.
Thank you
Wish we
very
had
much for
more
having
time.
me. Anytime you want to talk again, I have no problem coming and letting you guys know.
Okay, well, hopefully we can get you some CDBG fund money also.
Yeah, we were talking about that,
try
so
to
I
get
need to go to
that.
the alderman and the mayor. I got to go
Yes.
talk to them.
Right on. All right, thank you, folks. We'll see you next time. Appreciate it, Matt.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.